So who was Matsyendra? Well, there was a fisher village, and that fisher village was at the Bay of Bengal. And one day there was a fisherman called Milepa, and Milepa was out to catch some fish. And with his little boat he drove out on the sea, and then he threw his net out into the sea, and as it happened, a very, very big fish got caught in the net, but the fish was much too big for Milepa, and he pulled him off the boat together with the net. And Milepa sank down into the waters, and the fish came and swallowed Milepa, swallowed him down into his big belly, and dragged him down to the bottom of the sea. And it happened that it was this time where India was destroyed. Must have been like 900 after Christ. And so the Persians had come in many waves and destroyed India, and Shakti was very sad. And Shakti said to Shiva, we must find a new way of practice, because the old way of Tantra is destroyed. And they have destroyed everything and burned down all the temples and killed all the priests. And so we must find a new way. And Shiva said, yeah, there is a secret, there is a way to practice, but I cannot tell it yet because it's very secret. Which wants to say, it's very inner. It's beyond your conception. So we must go to a place where nobody can see us and nobody can hear us. And so he said, let's go to the bottom of the ocean where nobody can hear us. And then they went down to the bottom of the ocean, and Shiva started to narrate, to explain Shakti the new way. But Shakti was so bored by what Shiva had to say that she fell asleep. Or she was sitting there and she fell asleep immediately. And Shiva didn't pay so much attention. And he continued to explain. And then after a while he said, are you still listening? And then, luckily, Milepa was actually close by in the belly of the fish. And Milepa, out of the belly of the fish, said, yes, yes, I'm still listening. And so Shiva continued to explain. And then after a while, Shiva said again, are you still listening to Shakti? Shakti. And Milepa said, yeah, I'm still listening. Shiva continued to explain. And then after a while, Shiva finished that story. And Shakti woke up and he said, son, this was the secret of Hatha. And Shakti said, oh, sorry, I fell asleep. And Shiva said, this is very sad, because it means that there will be no Hatha in the world, no yoga of force, no yoga of strength, no yoga of awakening. And then he said, but who then said, I'm still listening, I'm still listening? And then Milepa, out of the belly of the fish, said, well, it's me, I said it. And then Shiva turned to Milepa and realized somebody else had been there, and he became fierce. He wasn't so happy with that. And he said, you have acquired that knowledge per unfair means. That knowledge was for the goddess, but you took it from us. And because you stole that knowledge from me, that great secret, you have to practice 7 years in the belly of the fish at the bottom of the ocean, and then you're allowed to rise again. And so Milepa, in the belly of the fish at the bottom of the ocean, started to practice Hatha. Pranayama. Om. In the belly of the fish for 7 years. And then the fish was caught by local fishermen, dragged on land and cut open, and out came, not Milepa, Matsyendranaths, the lord of the fishes, came out. A master of Hatha Yoga, a Kaula Tantric historically. Okay, a great master who then taught in a cave in Goa, in South India, to his students Hatha. So what does that story mean? It means that first, Hatha Yoga is the answer of the falling apart of a great system of knowledge, and it is a practical way that doesn't require great philosophical insight into something like Tantra was, but that comes from the experience, the immediate experience. It can also live in the forests and in the caves. It doesn't need big temples and libraries and tantric ritual. It doesn't require it. It's a way of great power without any theme. You can do it just like this. Even if the temples are burned down, you can do it. Just go in the forest, under a tree, practice. Second thing, it is not for humans. What does that mean? It's acquired by unfair means. If you look at what you are as a human, as a pashu, as a feathered, limited being, then you are that wants to live, you want to eat, you want to have sex, you want to acquire, and then you want to die. This is what your body wants you to do. If you follow the needs of your body, your cravings, then you make money, you get a relationship, you make kids, you are grumpy, you get old and you die, and your kids don't like you. This is what happens to people if they live a normal life. In that sense, a life how it is given by nature. Because nature doesn't want you to be happy, by the way. Nature wants you to reproduce. And sometimes, to just continue is not a way to open your consciousness, it's a way to survive. And the pashu survives. Doesn't mean that the pashu grows in consciousness or awareness about the nature of the world. Maybe your insight about what the universe or what life could be is actually a hindrance to day-to-day life. Because if I'm amazed about the universe, maybe I don't work hard enough, maybe I will compete hard enough, and maybe I don't have enough kids. That's not good for my genes, you know? So, and this is why Hatha Yoga is a trick, it's a life hack. It's not what the pashu is given like that, the limited soul. It's something that's given to you as a trick to become more than a normal human being. You can live more than a normal life. You can live longer than what nature has thought has hold for you. You can understand more as what nature wanted it for you. And you can expand life in a new way. It's a secret way. But in order to acquire that way, you have to sacrifice. And that sacrifice is your practice. And how do we sacrifice? By walking into the belly of the fish, which is the subconscious, and dive down to the bottom of the ocean, which is Svadhisthana chakra, the deep ocean of dreams, the subconscious landscapes of darkness where also your nightmares sleep. And that's where you have to go. And then when you are down there at this dark bottom of the ocean, then you have to practice tapas. You have to enlighten a fire at the very bottom, and then you can reach some form of mastery. And then you can emerge as the Lord of the Fish, Matsyendranaths. What does it mean to be the Lord of the Fish? It means to be the Lord over the subconscious. It means to be the Lord over desire. It means to be the Lord over the dreams. The Lord over the dream state. This is what it means. Yeah, that's what the story means. And this is Matsyendra. And this is Matsyendrasana. Matsyendras seat. So when you are coming into Matsyendrasana, the other side here, and you're sitting in Matsyendrasana, then you are the Lord of the fishes, the great Matsyendra. You know, imagine you're sitting in that cave in Goa. Behind you is that statue of Tripura, of the Trinity Goddess, and there are these wet walls of the cave around you, and outside is the light, the mesmerizing light of South India, and some palm trees moving in the horizon. And you're just sitting there, and you feel the grace moving within you. The Matsya Shakti, the power of the fish, Kundalini. And you're that great practitioner of Hatha Yoga. You're fearless. Very good. Very good.